Welcome back to Pastry Maestra. I'm Teresa and today I'm making meringue. The origin of meringue is quite mysterious. The idea of whipping egg whites with some sugar could have originated in any European country, so there is no wonder that the Swiss and the Italian claim this airy sweet invention. According to famous French pastry chef Pierre Hermé, food historians believe that one of two legends could be the right one. Initial story leads to family Visconti Forza, the Dukes of Milan, Italy, and the other legend mentions family from Abruzzo, Italy. Allegedly, the mother mixed some hop, watermelon seeds and fine sugar, and her daughter got the idea to incorporate cooked sugar into the whipped egg whites. It is believed that this concoction was the predecessor of Italian meringue. But wait, there are other stories about meringue. Another story claims that meringue was invented in Swiss village of Meiringen and improved by an Italian chef named Gasparini at the turn of 17th and 18th century. There is one more legend that says that the word meringue comes from the Polish word marzinka, and that the preparation was invented by a chef in the service of King Stanislas I Leszczyński, who later became Duke of Lorraine. However, the Oxford English Dictionary states that the French word meringue is of unknown origin. What is certain is that the name meringue for this confection first appeared in print in François Massialot's cookbook published in 1692 France. One more fact, meringues were traditionally shaped between two large spoons, and the first one who used the piping bag for shaping meringues was famous French chef Antoine Carême. Meringue is a mixture made by whipping egg whites with some sugar. The easiest way to whisk it in your stand mixer. If you don't have one, you can also use a hand mixer. And if you want to burn all that meringue calories in advance, grab your whisk and start whipping. Meringue can be soft or firm, depending on the ratio of egg whites and sugar. The less sugar meringue contains, it will be softer, no matter how long or hard you beat it. However, if meringue contains much more sugar than egg whites, it will be firmer and more stable. Meringue is considered a hygroscopic food, which means it absorbs water from the air. The high sugar concentration in the meringue absorbs moisture from the air and will cause the meringue to become soft and chewy. The more water that is absorbed, the heavier the meringue becomes. After enough water is absorbed, the meringue will become too heavy for the foam structure to support itself, and it will start to collapse. We will be making all three types of meringue in this video: French meringue, Italian meringue, and Swiss meringue. French meringue is the basic one. Mix your egg whites with caster sugar, and that's it. Italian meringue is made with boiling sugar syrup instead of caster sugar. This creates a much more stable, soft meringue, which can be used in various pastries without collapsing. In an Italian meringue, a hot sugar syrup is whipped into softly whipped egg whites till stiff and until the meringue becomes cool. This type of meringue is safe to use without cooking. It will not deflate for a long while and can be either used for decoration on pie or spread on a sheet or baked Alaska base and baked. Swiss meringue is whisked over bain-marie to warm the egg whites and then whisked steadily until it cools. This forms a dense, glossy, marshmallow-like meringue. It is usually then baked. There, no more theory. It's time to break a hell of a lot of eggs and make loads of meringue. As usual, the recipes are on my site. The link is down below. To make French meringue, I'm gonna put room temperature egg whites into a bowl of a stand mixer fitted with whisk attachment and whisk on medium speed. When soft peaks form, I'm gonna start adding sugar gradually and continue whisking until all the sugar is dissolved and the meringue becomes nice and glossy. To make sure the sugar is dissolved, I will rub some meringue between my fingers. If I can't feel any crystals, my meringue is done. To make Swiss meringue, I'm gonna combine egg whites and sugar in a bowl, and I'm gonna put everything on bain-marie, which is a French term for double boiler, or a pan filled with simmering water. Simmering water will heat the mixture gradually, and whisking or stirring it while heating will help to keep the temperature inside of the bowl uniform. At this stage, I'm gonna insert the probe of my digital candy thermometer into the egg white and sugar mixture. If you don't have a thermometer, I would recommend buying one. I'm gonna whisk my egg whites with sugar on bain-marie until the mixture reaches 70 degrees centigrade, which is 158 degrees Fahrenheit. And at that point, all the sugar crystals should be dissolved. I'm gonna check if my sugar is dissolved by rubbing some of the mixture between my fingers. I've transferred the hot mixture into a bowl of my stand mixer fitted with whisk attachment, and I'm gonna whisk on medium speed until meringue cools down. And that's it, my Swiss meringue is done. To make Italian meringue, I'm gonna place sugar and some water into a saucepan and put a lid on. I have already put egg whites into a bowl of a stand mixer fitted with whisk attachment, but I won't start whisking just yet. When my syrup boils, the steam will wash down the sugar crystals from the sides of my pan, and I'm gonna remove the lid. At that point, I'm gonna insert the probe of my digital candy thermometer into the syrup and continue cooking on medium heat. All about cooking sugar syrup you can learn from my post. The link is in the description below. When my syrup reaches 113 degrees centigrade, which is 235 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm gonna start whisking my egg whites on medium speed. When the syrup reaches 118 degrees centigrade, which is 244 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm gonna pour it into foamed egg whites carefully without turning off my mixer. It is important to pour the syrup between the whisk and the side of the bowl. Be very careful. If you pour the syrup on the whisk while it's working, that could splatter your hands or face with hot sugar syrup, and you could get serious burns. Once all the syrup is inside, I'm gonna continue whisking Italian meringue until it cools down. When Italian meringue cools down, it is ready to be used. I'm Teresa. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and of course, visit my site, where you can find elaborate posts with lots of pictures, additional information and recipes that follow my every video. Also, on my site you can download my free 365 pages ebook The Pastry Chef and maybe buy me a macaron, if you think that I've earned it. Now, before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps a lot. Finally, and this is the most important thing, don't forget to create sweetness every day, because sweetness is happiness. See you in my next video. Bye!